So the recipe I'm going to show you today is Saag Aloo, and when I was first looking at making this I thought I might have to rename it because I thought saag meant spinach, but guess what? Saag does not mean spinach. Saag Aloo just means greens and potatoes, and that's what we've got right here. So you could use whatever greens you like in this recipe, but as we're here in early March I am going to use the crop that I've got that's most bountiful, which is my golden chard and my pink passion chard, both ready to pick. Okay, so here's the ingredients we're going to be using today. We've got an onion, we've got some potatoes, we've got all of our lovely chard from the garden, and then we've got some garlic, some fresh ginger, some tomato puree, some cumin seeds, some coriander, some black mustard seeds, some chilli and some turmeric. So lots of lovely spiced ingredients. If you want to make this a bit simpler, you can use your own pre-made curry powder mix that you like. The spices I think really make a difference are to use some fresh cumin seeds and also some black mustard seeds. So even if you're using a pre-mixed curry powder, which is totally fine, try and use those too, because that does give it that real signature flavour. So let's make a start. I'm going to be chopping the onion, dicing and skinning the potatoes, preparing the chard, and then we'll get cooking. Okay, so the first thing to do is to give all of your veg a good old wash, and I actually like first to just give my homegrown veg a little quick soak in some cold water, especially in winter, as what I find is that within a few minutes, if there's any snails or slugs or other critters in there, they make their way to the top and I'll find a little slug or snail hanging out here on its little raft, and we'll take that right back into the garden. So while these are having a quick soak, I'm going to chop some onion and peel some potatoes. Okay, we'll start with chopping the onions. So I'm just going to dice this up. And now I'm going to just cut the ginger into little matchsticks, and you don't even really need to peel ginger, but if you want to peel it, a good way to do it is to just use a little teaspoon, and that will take off the outer skin very easily, and that's taking that off without cutting away any of that lovely ginger underneath. And often with veg the nutrients are just below the skin or within the skin for some, so it's handy not to take massive chunks out if you can help it, though if you're in a rush sometimes, I sometimes do. With the garlic, I'm going to use the garlic press for this, so I'll just get that ready and waiting to go through when we're using it in the pan. And then I'm going to peel the potatoes with my trusty peeler. So I'm just going to dice these potatoes now, and I'm keeping the pieces just fairly similar in size. That's just so they cook evenly. While I'm getting the rest of the veg ready, I'm going to put these potatoes on to cook, and I'm going to steam them, or you could boil them. It will only take, I don't know, maybe 7-8 minutes, and we'll get those so that they're ready and we can just fold them into the dish at the end. So let's get that done. While those potatoes are cooking, I'm going to get the chard ready. So what we're going to do with this dish is we're going to use both the stalks and the leaves. So the leaves are probably what you're expecting there, and we're going to use those in place of spinach if you normally make saag aloo with spinach. But I'm also going to use these lovely yellow stalks as part of the main dish. So here's how we prepare them. I'm going to just cut off the end and then just sort of pull away this thing. So there it is, and you've got your leafy green and you've got the stalks. So we'll do that for all of them. So what you're left with is a bowl of leafy greens, a bit like spinach. So we're going to put those to one side, we're going to use those later. And then what we're going to use first is use up these lovely stalks, and we're going to add them into our pot at the same time as the onion. We're going to cook them up gently. Look at those, gorgeous. And to prepare the leafy bits of chard, which we're going to add right towards the end, I'll just lay a lot of the leaves on top of each other, give them a little roll up like you're rolling a cigar, and then give them a bit of a chop. So that's the greens ready, and we'll add those right at the end. So let's move to the cooker now and get these lovely ingredients going in our pan. Okay, so I just put some coconut oil in, or you could use any oil that you like, or ghee. And then once the oil has melted, we'll put in our cumin seeds and our black mustard seeds. And then as soon as they start popping, you get your onions in. And your chard in. And we're going to give this a stir. Turn it down to a medium heat and let these cook slowly down. And now these have cooked down really nicely. And we've had a taste and they've got a little bit of bite, just perfect now for the next stage. So we're going to add in the ginger. Ginger in. Add in the garlic. Give that a little cook through for a couple of minutes. Oh, smells amazing. And then we're going to add in the spices. So I'm going to add in the coriander, the turmeric, and the chili powder. We'll just mix those in. Oh, the smell of the spices is amazing. Now we're stirring our potatoes. Just going to gently stir those in because I like my potatoes to retain their shape as much as possible. So I'm going to get those stirred into the spice mix. And we're going to add some tomato puree. Add in some water. Give that a good stir. I'm just going to add a little bit more water so we've got a base there to steam the chard leaves. Okay, that's it. All we're going to do now is get in our lovely chard leaves. So a bit like spinach, these will cook down. So we'll just let those, give those a little stir. Pop them on top. And then lid on. Turn the heat up a little and we'll let that cook for a few minutes. And there we have it. You can see that the chard has cooked down really beautifully. You just stir it in. And see, because we pre-steamed the potatoes, they can keep their shape in a way that they just don't if you cook them in the mix. So all there is to do now is to season it. Lid on for 1 more minute for final steam. And that is absolutely gorgeous. And look, the chard has even kept its pink colour. Beautiful. So that's my recipe for saag aloo using garden chard. Add it in a chickpeas if you want to make it into a whole meal, or serve it up as a light lunch or a side dish anytime. So if you want any more chard recipes, give me a thumbs up, and if there are other garden veg you'd like to get some ideas on how to use once you've grown them or how to store them, please let me know in the comments below. And in the meantime, have a good week and I'll see you next time.